Well, I need to welcome you back, and we're with a big story for today. In our second half, we'll definitely take a different turn and something else to discuss. Because the Senate has commenced the screening of the first batch of ministerial nominees forwarded by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The screening commenced at the upper chambers on Monday during Monday afternoon during plenary. About 24 hours after the Senate unveiled the presidential first batch of ministers' list on Thursday, July the 27th of 2023, the Senior Special Assistant to President on National Assembly Matters, Abdullahi Gumel, asked the ministerial nominees to complete their documentation for the screening, which started on Monday. And a lot has happened in the first 2 days of the screening, hence the need for us to look at the process in the red chambers. And that's what we're taking as the second half of our discussion today on the big story. We're talking about the present screening of ministerial nominees and all that has transpired, especially as it concerns that very screening. Like I said initially in my introduction, it started on Monday, and we had quite a number of other names being screened yesterday, and most likely it will definitely continue today. 28 in all is the numbers that are being screened in the very first batch of maybe up to 42-man list in the eventual stand. But as it stands now, like I said, it's 28. And that is definitely our second half of discussion. We're talking about the present screening of ministerial nominees as being conducted by the red chambers. But if you do also know, we still have him here, and he will also be helping us to look at that issue. And I'm talking of no other person but Barrister Casey Omoyirabon. Well, yes, let's look at the issue of the screening of the ministerial nominee. Mr. President have submitted the list, and like I said in my introduction, the screening of the 28-man list has commenced in the red chambers. But I want your thoughts on this very list. As it stands, the 28 persons on that very list are from 25 states. We have 4 ex-governors, 2 former lawmakers, and 3 serving president advisors, and 7 women presently on that list. But I want your view, especially as concerns that list. I want your thoughts surrounding not just the names, but those persons are there on the list. And what do you feel about this very list? 28 men.
Thank you. You see, the president is assumed to be a very experienced man in governance.
Okay.
So he has a prerogative to nominate whoever he so wishes. In those days, it is the state arm of the party that nominate and send down.
Okay, the state arm.
The state arm, like APC Delta State, we send one name, or send 3 for him to pick one.
Okay.
But now this president seems to know everybody and want to pick by himself.
So a quite departure from that initial stand.
Yes. Again, let's be very frank. Like I said, he has the rights, has the prerogative, but the kind of names and personalities showing up is a total disappointment. You see, in this world, there is nothing that is static. There must be dynamism. Okay, I quite agree there are some few good people there, like our Amazon, Stella Kwetiti. I clap hand for her. She's gotten to the top. I was surprised when some lawyers in Ekpe wrote to disqualify her. Who are you? What do you about her? You say you're secretary of the bar, and you are writing about Delta State nominee? Why didn't you write about your state? Some nonchalant human being here went to give you money. I'm sorry. Some human being here in our state will go and discuss our Amazon in the Senate, but ask the lawyer to write to the president of the Senate. Thank God the president of the Senate is a lawyer too, and he knows all the whole wahala, and they simply ignore. I wrote to counter it. Okay. So at least that is good. But when you ask an old man who was a minister and was a governor for 8 years, he was chief of staff for 4 years, and he has come back now to become minister. Is there anybody from that state? What is left that he has not done? So
you have reservation on some of the names on that list. Okay, now I would like to get your reservation pretty soon, but let's come now to the hopes of Nigerians.
Yes.
It was dashed, and when I mean dashed, during the presentation of those nominees, on the ground that portfolios were not assigned to these names, and Nigerians had high hopes that it will be a departure from the past when we had offices not assigned to these nominees. So I want your, because I know you've seen part of the screening of the red chambers of this
My
person.
brother, was there
Did it affect the robust screening of this person? Not looking at the portfolios assigned.
What I saw in the House red chambers was campaign. Yes! When the person from your state is brought, someone from the state will stand up and eulogize him, and that one will stand up and say, hey, let it just take it back and go. That's what we're saying. No question we're being asked. No screening. Nothing.
So don't you feel a lack of portfolios being assigned was also instrumental in that?
No, that's what they were rather campaigning for the portfolio they want the person to be given. Assuming you are make Minister of Defense, how do you handle the insecurity in the north? You are already proposing him and lobbying for him to be Minister of Defense. Assuming you are giving Minister of Energy, you are lobbying. Who told you? Ask him about his credibility. When he was born, how was he born? Which school did you attend? What have been your pedigree? What leadership qualities have you gotten? Are you not sure you are among people being investigated by EFCC? If you have been investigated, why are you here? Nobody asks questions. And almost all of them, they are under one investigation or the other. And they just don't care. They don't care about what we think. And there should have even been like a phone-in like us. After the so-called screening, they allow Nigerians to phone in for at least 1 hour and ask questions. That's how people are screening. What screening means, they will interview you to know who you are, whether you fit into that portfolio, whether you are capable of handling this thing. We are in a crisis situation. Nigeria is on edge. We look men of valor, men of integrity to run our ministry. And you bring some people just because they help people vote? No, now. So we had expected that as the real screening is in the house. I'm not blaming the president at all. He has shown his name. We expected our deputies, our representatives, our people we voted for to stand up to their full height and ask questions. But all they do is a charade. If you are giving minister of this, take a bow and go. There's only one man they ask questions. And that man who asked the questions was almost in trouble. What did they ask? A man said he's a lawyer. He was called to by 2001. And then he went ahead to read masters in energy, another pure science course. I don't know which university will admit a lawyer to read another pure energy master's degree. I'm not going that. And then he has only 2 credits.
Well, that's where I'm coming to next, because let's look at the drama that really unfolded.
Yes.
Because that's another high point of the screening itself. Yes. And like you said, I want us to start with that of Senator Bello Mohammed, where he was questioned about his university admission and secondary school results that included no more than 2 credits. We know his defense was that he had orders, but because of it was more of an elected office, which he was corrected by the Senate president himself, telling him this is not an elected office, this is more of a nominee and your ministerial office, hence you need to bring all your certificates. And he was even stepped down from the screening. But my question is, let's look at all that drama, especially as it concerns that very ministerial
I'm a lawyer. That boy is farmer junior at the bar. Let's be very frank. Did you see how arrogant he was in answering those questions? He told them that this constitution, so far as was concerned, you can even contest for presidency.
Is that the case?
Is that the case?
No, it's a question.
Exactly. So when the president Senate now corrected him, my friend, the issue is that you do not get admission to Nigeria University with 2 credits. How did you get there? He was once suggested to him, do you have anyone he did not include? That they were giving him a soft landing. He now said, I didn't know I'm supposed to include. How could you include the bad one and drop the good one? It's not anywhere. And the president still screaming and telling him to go. You don't need to come here again. You will bring it to the clerk and give it if there's anyone you have not brought. You're fooling Nigerians. If that man should have been arrested instantly, the bar should debar him. How did he get admission to read law with 2 credits? And we don't even know what area is that credit. Maybe in Islamic law or something. Yes, because you see, we in from that Sokoto state, we have erudite professors, lawyers, doctors. Must it be this person? I don't understand it. And he has the effrontery of talking to people anyhow. Yes, I don't need to bring up my credentials. After president, people for presidency don't need to have degree. He was too arrogant. And the red chambers tolerated him. Nobody could tell him to step down. Nobody could tell him to get out. And don't come here again. And then I said, okay, all right, you forgot to put the other one. You can go later. I don't need to come again. Just give it to our clerk. You just imagine. Because The president and the Senate have arranged any list I sent, clear all of them. That's the country we
It
have.
looks as if we'll really further that discussion. I feel we have a video of that very interview. And if my PD is ready, okay, whenever it's ready, I will definitely be giving, so people really understand what you mean.
Yes.
Because we have a video clip.
Very
of that
arrogant in
interview.
the way he went about it. He was commissioner this, he was this. Somebody was even asking him, when you, he didn't even say that in his credentials, when you were in Saudi Arabia, you were a chairman of transportation, you did very well. If you make minister of Western Affairs, will you do like that? Can't just imagine somebody have those certificates. You have diverted to when he was in Saudi Arabia doing the Hague. When they were doing Hague, he was in charge of transportation, he did very well. So if we make minister of Western Affairs, we do very well. I just choose a portfolio for him. He's good arranging transport of drop and pick Saudi Arabia. So that qualification become a minister of Western Affairs. There's something wrong in this country. Why can't we look there? During screening, there are people you admit in, people eggheads who would ask them. For example, when Gordon Basike was picking commissioner in those states, he set up an independent body headed by Late Oshodi, the University of Benin. Independent people who are not politicians to screen them.
But we had the DSS and other major...
my brother.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you an example. We had, let's not call it a rumor now, that DSS disqualified people and send it to them and they push it up. Nobody asked. And that's governor.
Okay, now still talking about ex-governor. One of the first minister in nominees or ministerial nominees that was cleared was no other person but the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike.
Yes.
From the opposition party.
Yes.
I want your reaction to that because that's also creating a whole lot of
I find
issues.
it difficult to talk about Nyesom Wike because it's my classmate and my co-mate and we're personal friends.
Okay.
But in politics, I get disgusted. I don't want anybody to think he's jealous. No. Akpabetu was my junior too. We were all in school together. So these people, I don't know. How can Wike be what he has become? I'm telling you, it's a terrible thing. Like I said, I don't want to criticize him.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound
we don't even want to attack persons.
Yes.
I'm only asking the question, knowing that the opposition is in court and yet having somebody from the opposition as a minister in this government.
Honestly, let's be very frank. If I'm the president today, I don't need political party if I can choose eggheads. If I look that Mike can do it very well, whether from my opposition party, I'll pick him.
So you feel Mr. President was in order picking?
He can pick anybody, but not picking Nyesom Wike.
Why?
There's a lot about Nyesom Wike. Like Sani Shehu told him, to the president, a betrayer is always a betrayer. I will still betray you one day.
Okay, now let's leave about the credibility of him, especially as it concerns the political side. All I'm interested in asking is having someone from the opposition when we still have the opposition in court on account of, well, we are kicking about the credibility of the legitimacy of this government. So that's where my question lies.
Yes.
Would that not give more credence that this administration has the credibility to be in power?
How?
Having the opposition as a part of the ministerial...
No! Everybody knows from the beginning that Wike have not the opposition to this party. He has been working with them.
But he's still a member of the People's Democratic Party.
See, my brother, let me tell you, it's a road called a mole.
Okay. Well, anyway, I will not make you go there. I will not make you go there. But I only want your thought as it concerns an opposition member in
let
the
me
very
tell you,
administration.
it's possible to form a government of national unity.
Okay. That's what
that should have been done after all tribunals have closed down.
Okay.
And now we are settling down. We can begin to heal wounds.
Okay.
By
such appointment.
Yes.
Okay.
Not now.
Okay, now let's leave that. It was we are still remaining with the ministerial nominees, but it was not a smooth one for his Kaduna State counterpart, Nasir El-Rufai, yesterday.
Yes.
Unlike it was smooth for Wike because he was just within some minutes he was cleared and he left. But for El-Rufai yesterday, it was not a smooth one because we saw Senator Sunday Karimi representing Kogi West move against him over a petition written against the former governor over the issue of the security in southern Kaduna. And we know the Senate president himself, Godwin Akpabio, refused the petition, saying a number of petitions were submitted against a number of ministerial nominees. My question is, now let's look at the Constitution. Does he have a right to step down such petitions?
At all. We are Nigerians. These senators are representing us. If you choose a rogue, a thief, an armed robber, and you don't know, probably.
But just a petition.
And then we now write a petition to say, investigate him. Oh. If you put this man there, we destroy the ministry. You would have stepped it down. Set up a committee to look into the complaints.
But Gosula Pabio said yesterday he had many other petitions.
And what about that?
Him. And you initially said even that of Delta State had petitions.
Yeah, they look into it. Because we wrote counter.
Okay.
Yeah, we wrote a counter.
You feel it should have been looked at?
No, see.
Let me understand.
Yes. If anybody mentioned against you to cast and said you stole, and that person, credible organization, goes and said that there's a personal credibility of it, don't mind.
Okay.
They will look into it. We wrote that we actually emanated from those people who were struggling to get the post. And they were just, that all they said about that was wrong. And then look at it. You no longer take weeks to investigate somebody. You have your computer there. You Google, you see him. And then, well,
so it was not right stepping down that petition initially?
At all. You must look at every complaint, no matter how infinitesimal, no matter how ugly, no matter how vexatious it is. You must take pain. So just as somebody is telling you somebody is going to kill you, you say, don't mind him. I don't care. And you don't know whether it's a real and potential enemy that will kill you. No. You must listen. You must put your ears down and say, oh, the man is carrying a gun. Oh. He's already in the room. Oh. Take off. Oh. Say, I don't care. I won't look into it. No. The country is not yours, for God's sake. And probably we're elected to speak for us. We cannot all be there. You should have been able to look at every petition and then step down. Doesn't mean we won't clear them later. If it's found to be frivolous, like that of Stella Kochite, who's a good woman. So they looked at this softly. They called me. Look at me and said, oh my God, you know this man? I said, yes. I've lived in Delta State for 52 years.
So you should.
Yeah, they said, okay, human rights. You wrote. And we have looked at both but you even have more information than the other one. That's what he told me. I'm not looking for any patronage. That's simply what I wanted to do.
Okay. So you felt that petition coming against Nasir El-Rufai would have been looked at?
Yes, because the petition is already in the public domain.
Okay.
What they were saying about El-Rufai is what I and you already know. I'm not in this country.
Okay, now let's leave what we know, but continue with what we want to know. And what we want to know is successive governments have had different nominees, ministerial nominees that were later cleared and were ministers and they functioned under that very administration. But with the last administration and the recent statistics, or rather information on our table, that most of the nominees, 20 in all, are currently being investigated by the EFCC and the ICPC and other bodies. How do we now start making these ministers accountable to the office that they will be given to? How can that be done?
Okay, let's look at it this way. That you are being investigated does not mean you have become a criminal.
No, we do know. But now being given the job, how do we hold them accountable? Because now let's look at it. Even during Jonathan's time, we had series and series of complaints and also investigation. One that is still in the domain is Diziani Madike. We still have issues surrounding her, especially as it concerns looting. We also have similar with this. And all the government that has gone, none of the presidents have been held accountable for the actions of the ministers. How do we now start holding persons accountable for either their doing or not doing their job that they were made to do? How can Nigerians start holding them? Is there any part of the constitution that has that to hold them?
The analogy I just giving is between Akpabio and Kayamo. Akpabio was arrested and was being tried, and Kayamo was the prosecutor representing the EFCC. Akpabio was made the minister, and Kayamo was made the minister under him. The case dropped. That's Nigeria. That's Nigeria for you. They became co-minister and minister of labor.
Do we have any part of the constitution to hold these men and women accountable for their action or inaction?
Constitution is so clear on it. No constitution in the world will ever tolerate crime, tolerate indolency. The constitution is not everything that must be written down. They've all called the implied aspect of the constitution. The written aspect of the constitution. The law is clear that once your character is tainted, you cannot be aspiring to position until you are cleared. But the truth is that the same law allows you to be presumed innocent until a court of law declare you guilty. If you are not yet guilty, you cannot just be stopped from contesting all the governmental position. But the truth is that even when you are cleared now, and you are still there, and the findings shows that there's some you drop, you stop immediately. But Nigeria don't drop. That's the problem. Our president, they are so, I don't know what to use the word weak. The team that brought them there does not allow them to be firm on their ministers. Because you call them minister, they are not ministers you think, they have stakeholders, and they can bring them the president if they're not careful. So the president is just like going to make a weak and then find minister. Those are what I can say to them, I'm not going and they won't go. You see, you made them minister, you have chosen small boys who can manage now. These are men who can tell you, no, that's not called me, will not be president. Stop it. That is the situation we have. The president on the television, he's in charge. He is not fully in charge. People brought him there. People are fighting for him.
Okay, you mean there are other stakeholders?
Yes.
But by constitution, he's the man in charge.
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay, well, I know I'm still in charge of this discussion, and I'll plead with you to hold on. We need to go on a break, though. Okay. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion as we look at those two critical issues. We're talking about the strike action embarked by the NLC and also the clearing, yes, of our ministerial nominees by the Red Chambers. That is also continuing today as we try to indeed get a full list being cleared and the job of the EFCC.
Clearing, not screening.
Okay. The job of the Federal Executive Council starts going on as Nigerians truly need it. Let's go on a break.